April 22, 2025, the Bizaran Valley of Pahalgam in Jammu and Kashmir became witness to a horrific terror that shook the entire country. Located 6 kilometers from Pahalgam in Anantnag district, this Bizaran Valley is a popular tourist spot which is also called Mini Switzerland due to its beauty. The valley is surrounded by dense forests of tall pine trees. There are rivers flowing nearby and snow-covered peaks high up in the distance, making this valley such a unique place that tourists are automatically drawn to it. On that day too, hundreds of people had come to spend time with their loved ones in these beautiful valleys of Kashmir. Someone had reached here for a holiday with their family after saving for many months. Someone had brought their son for a visit after he scored good marks, while someone had come to celebrate their honeymoon in these beautiful valleys after their recent wedding. There was only beauty and happiness all around. Amidst the laughter of children, the clicks of cameras, and the conversations of people, there was a peaceful resonance in the atmosphere. Someone was just gazing at this heaven on earth, while someone was so lost in their wife's arms as if they wanted to forget all their sorrows for a few moments, and just merge into this moment. No one had even the slightest idea that in just a short while, something was going to happen here that would turn this heavenly atmosphere into hell in just a few moments. While everyone was immersed in this beautiful sight with their loved ones, 5 to 6 people emerged from the pine trees and reached there. Many of them were wearing the uniforms of the Indian Army and police. But in reality, they were ruthless terrorists. Each one had dangerous rifles like M4 carbines and AK-47s in their hands, and the heavy bags laden on their backs were filled with bullets, grenades, and explosives. They had entered this valley slowly like predators. The laughter of these tourists and their innocence were stinging those terrorists to such an extent that they wanted to silence them as soon as possible. The terrorists first reached a man named Shubham, who was immersed in happy conversations with his family. A terrorist immediately lunged and pointed a gun at Shubham and screamed, "Tell me, are you a Hindu or a Muslim?" Shubham and his wife both started trembling with fear at the terrorist's gun and question. When the terrorist shouted again and asked, only one word came out of Shubham's trembling lips: Hindu. Hearing this much, the terrorists went mad with rage and hatred began to boil in their eyes. After this, the terrorists fired several rounds of bullets indiscriminately at Shubham from their rifles. A fountain of blood erupted from Shubham's body, and he fell on the ground right there. Seeing her husband lose his life before her eyes, Shubham's wife began to cry and scream, calling out for help. After this, the terrorists spread throughout the place and set about targeting Hindus. A terrorist's eye fell on Indian Navy Lieutenant Vinay Nawal, who was with his newlywed bride Himanshi. They had been married for only 6 days and had come to start their new life in these beautiful breezes of Kashmir. But the terrorists suddenly pushed their pleasant life into the darkness of death. The terrorist approached Vinay and asked his name and religion. Upon hearing Hindu in response, the terrorist shot him as well and moved forward. Left behind was Vinay's wife Himanshi, who sat with tearful eyes near the body of her life partner, looking at him, knowing he was never going to return. The entire valley trembled with just 2 to 4 minutes of the rattle of bullets. The smell of gunpowder had spread in all directions. Children were screaming hearing the sound of bullets. Women were wailing and men were trying to save their own lives and those of their loved ones. Some people hid behind trees to save their lives, while some were constantly screaming for help. But unfortunately, there was no one to save their lives today. Bitan Adhikari, a Kolkata official working in America, had come to visit Kashmir for a few days' holiday with his wife Sohini Adhikari and their 3-year-old son. When that innocent child heard the rattle of bullets, he suddenly screamed in fear. "Mama, sound fire!" There was such fear in that innocent's eyes that he could not understand what was happening and why. Without wasting a moment, Bitan grabbed his son's hand tightly and started running. His wife Sohini was also with him, wanting to pull her family out of the jaws of death somehow. But at that very moment, the terrorists surrounded them. As soon as the terrorists found out that Bitan was a Hindu, He was riddled with bullets in front of his wife and son. Panic had spread everywhere. Some people were trying to run while falling, while some people lay on the ground out of fear, as if sticking to the soil would avert death. Then a terrorist came in front of the people with a blood-stained face and savagery in his eyes and shouted loudly that all Hindus should move to one side and Muslims to the other. Everyone was stunned. No one could even move from their place. After this, those terrorists started asking people their religion one by one. "Are you a Hindu?" Whoever said yes, the terrorists riddled them with bullets the next moment. Within a few minutes, many people had been killed. Their only mistake was that they were Hindus. There was terror in the hearts of everyone present there. No one knew who would be the target of death the next moment. After this, instead of asking for names, the terrorists started making them recite the Kalma. Those who could not recite it, their lives were taken the very next moment. Sushil Nathaniel's family was also present in this crowd of innocent people. A terrorist came to Sushil and roared, "Come on, get on your knees and recite the Kalma." Sushil replied tremblingly, "I am a Christian. I don't know how to recite the Kalma." No sooner had he heard this than the terrorist swerved his gun towards Sushil and took his life. On the other hand, the terrorists also gave death to Pallavi's husband Manjunath in the name of religion. Seeing her husband lose his life before her eyes, Pallavi cried and told the terrorists while sobbing, "Kill me too. What will I do living now?" At this, a savage terrorist laughed loudly and said, "Go, we won't kill you, go and tell Modi." About 20 people had been killed. But this cycle of terror was not showing any sign of stopping in the Bizaran Valley today. After this, the terrorists made all the men stand in a line and one by one began to lower their pants to check their private parts. These ruthless terrorists wanted to confirm in this way whether they were circumcised or not. Whoever was not seen circumcised, the terrorists immediately shot and took their life. At that time, there was only the sight of fear and terror in the valley. There was the sound of children crying. There were the screams of women. There was blood dripping from the bodies lying on the ground, and the terrorists' religion-linked question floated in the winds, ready to swallow someone else every next moment. Meanwhile, the terrorists' eyes fell on Adil Hussain, who was coming towards Bizaran Valley with a Hindu tourist sitting on his horse. The terrorists only wanted to shed the blood of non-Muslims, so they ignored Adil and aimed at the tourist sitting on his horse. But before any bullet could be fired, Adil, without caring for his life, fought the terrorists alone to save the tourist. He tried to snatch a rifle from a terrorist. But Adil's strength alone could not stand before the terrorists, and in a few moments, a barrage of bullets put him to sleep in death as well. If Adil wanted, he could have saved his life by not intervening. But he became an example that in a crowd of those who commit violence in the name of religion, if there is even one person who keeps humanity above religion, then perhaps this world will remain worth living in. But a strange kind of obsession seemed to possess those demonic terrorists. They had mounted cameras on their bodies with which they were recording this entire incident so that by showing the recording full of the screams of Hindus, they could gather praise from their handlers. When those terrorists did not see any other non-Muslim man there, they started showering bullets again on the people who were already dead and began taking selfies while laughing like savage beasts with the blood-soaked bodies of the dead. They had fired a total of 300 rounds. The surprising thing was that those terrorists did not kill even a single woman because for them, these women were not just witnesses to that incident, but were living proof of their savagery whom they had left only so that these living corpses could go and deliver the news of this massacre to the country and the government. In this terror attack, 26 innocent people lost their lives, while about 20 people were badly injured. This was one of the deadliest terror attacks in the history of Jammu and Kashmir, in which people were killed openly after asking their religion. The terrorists spared no one as they massacred a valley in Pahalgam. Terrorists asked for religious identity of people and shot down those who were non-Muslims. They killed everyone in front of us. There was no policeman over there either. They were killed. They belonged to a group called the TRF. After killing 26 people together, the terrorists entered the forest surrounded by pine trees and fled from there rapidly without a care. The families of the deceased were weeping bitterly, and the 20 people who were injured also remained there writhing in pain for a long time. The most surprising thing was that there was no sign of security forces there. There was no one to save those people. No one to remove the shadow of death clearly visible in their eyes and give them hope of life. There was neither any security personnel nor any medical help. Bizaran Valley is at a great height, so vehicles cannot be brought here. One can come here on foot or riding on horses and mules. In such a situation, seeing people screaming in pain, while many local people remained silent spectators to everything, some local Kashmiri people gathered courage and came forward to help. Someone carried a child on their back to the bottom, while someone started helping the injured by seating them on their horse. Even a long time after such a big attack happened, the information could not reach the CRPF, Jammu and Kashmir Police, and the Army. Coincidentally, at that time, CRPF Battalion Commanding Officer Rajesh Kumar was passing through the Bizaran Valley for some work. Just then, he heard the franticness of people descending from the valley and the cries of weeping. He stopped a horseman and asked if something had happened here. That horseman told him that, "Sir, bullets have been fired in Bizaran and many people have lost their lives and many people are lying injured." Hearing this much, Rajesh Kumar understood the whole matter and without any delay, informed the nearby CRPF camp and asked the quick action team to reach the Bizaran Valley as soon as possible and set out for the spot himself. Upon receiving news of the terror attack, the CRPF immediately came into action. A quick action team of 25 commandos was prepared and sent to the Bizaran Valley. This CRPF camp was about 7 kilometers away from the Bizaran Valley, and the path was also very mountainous. Therefore, it took the quick action team 40 minutes to reach the spot. Upon reaching there, the quick action team first assured that no terrorist was hiding there. They did not find terrorists there, but they definitely saw people hidden out of fear, in whose eyes the dread of death was still present. Out of these, 3 people had lost a lot of blood due to bullet wounds and needed medical aid as soon as possible. Those 3 were sent to Anantnag District Hospital by helicopter, but unfortunately, due to heavy blood loss, one injured man out of those 3 breathed his last on the way. The other 2 injured were safely reached to the hospital. Apart from them, the others who were injured were also reached to nearby medical centers. In a short while, the Army and Jammu and Kashmir police teams reached the spot and together they ran a major rescue mission. However, by now such fear had settled in the tourists that when the CRPF Jawans reached there to help them, many people mistook them for terrorists because the terrorists had also come wearing army and police uniforms. One woman even began pleading before the CRPF Jawans while crying, "Please don't kill my child. I have already lost my husband." Seeing that woman's fear, the hair on the CRPF Jawans' neck stood up. They immediately calmed everyone down and told them that they are the Jawans of India and have come for their protection. Even though the Indian forces reached the spot later and rescued the injured, the deaths of 26 innocent people in this attack had raised deep questions about India's security arrangements. The absence of security forces there reflects the negligence of the authorities. The most surprising thing is that before the terror attack in Pahalgam, the Intelligence Bureau had received an intel on April 4, 2025 that a terrorist organization in Pakistan had directed its local operatives to conduct reconnaissance of Pahalgam's hotels for an attack. This information was also shared through the subsidiary multi-agency center SMAC. But despite this, not a single security personnel was present on the spot. However, the government of India later gave a clarification on this, saying that the local authorities had opened the Bizaran Valley ahead of time without informing the security agencies. Whereas every year this valley was opened in June during the Amarnath Yatra. There was also a deep question on the government's clarification, that when the opening of Bizaran Valley was known to the sellers of Maggi and tea, and was known to those thousands of tourists who had come here to visit, then how did this information remain hidden from the government, security forces, and intelligence agencies? Apart from this, what an irony it is that terrorists enter Kashmir with so much weaponry very easily, carry out an attack, and even escape without being caught. The terrorists had conducted reconnaissance for several days before executing this Pahalgam attack. But still, the security forces did not get even a whisper of this planning, and their network of sources collapsed. This is not the first terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir. Before this, whether it was the 2016 Uri attack or Baramulla attack, the 2019 Pulwama attack, or the 2024 Risi attack, our security forces are able to find out about their lapse only after the incident has occurred. After all, how does such negligence happen again and again? Why are our intelligence agencies and security forces not able to stop any terror attack before it happens by coordinating with each other? No matter which party's government is in the country, the terrorists have succeeded in their designs every time. Whether it was the 2001 Parliament attack or the 2002 Akshardham attack, the 2005 Delhi serial blasts, or the 2006 Mumbai train blasts, the 26/11 Mumbai attack or the 2016 Pathankot airbase attack, terrorists have harmed the country every time, and our security forces and intelligence agencies have failed to stop them. As soon as the news of this terror attack in Pahalgam reached the media, the entire country was stunned. In this attack, when the people of the country heard about that horrific attack from the mouths of those wives who had seen their husbands and children who had seen their fathers dying at the hands of terrorists before their eyes, everyone's hair stood up. There were tears in every Indian's eyes and anger in their hearts. Everyone wanted revenge. The government of India also came into action after the attack. Home Minister Amit Shah visited Pahalgam as soon as he received the news. When he heard the tearful eyes and the screaming cry for justice of the families of the deceased there, he assured them that the people responsible for this attack would soon be in their graves. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was in Saudi Arabia at the time of the attack in Pahalgam, immediately cancelled his visit and returned to India, and the next day, on April 23rd, called an emergency meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security, CCS. This CCS meeting lasted for more than 2 hours, and there was serious discussion on giving a fitting reply to Pakistan. The responsibility for this terror attack was taken by the Resistance Front, i.e. TRF, which is a shadow group of the Pakistani terror organization Lashkar-e-Taiba. But in reality, TRF or Lashkar-e-Taiba were just pawns. The roots of this terror attack are so deep that they reached Pakistan's intelligence agency ISI, Pakistan's Army Chief General Asim Munir, and Pakistan's Shahbaz Sharif government. Actually, Pakistan is currently going through a very bad phase. The government there is already stumbling along. On the other hand, there is an atmosphere of fierce instability in different states of Pakistan. No one knows which part of Pakistan might separate and become a new country in the time to come. The worst condition is of Balochistan, where the Balochistan Liberation Army, i.e. BLA, has made life difficult for the Pakistani government to liberate it from Pakistan. Apart from this, Pakistan's economy is on the verge of collapse, and it has to survive on foreign loans. In such a situation, instead of solving its problems, Pakistan paid more attention to spreading unrest in India, so that not only could the attention of the Pakistani public be diverted from important issues, but by conducting a terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir, India's unity, happiness, and progress could also be hit. After the removal of Article 370, tourism had begun to increase in Jammu and Kashmir in the last 2 to 3 years, providing employment to the people there. This peace and tranquility were unbearable for Pakistan. It used to worry as soon as the Kashmiri youth, whom it used to lure against India and make throw stones at the Indian army, got employment. It began to feel what would happen to its terrorist designs now. Pakistan again wanted hatred and violence in Jammu and Kashmir. It wanted to incite people in the name of religion. Therefore, it executed the heinous conspiracy of the Pahalgam terror attack through TRF and Lashkar-e-Taiba. People were killed by asking their religion, so that people of both religions in India turn against each other. Hindus put Muslims in the dock of questions, and the poison of hatred for Hindus dissolves inside Muslims. Pakistan's Army Chief General Asim Munir had given one such communal statement in his speech before high-ranking Pakistani officials and government people a few days before the attack, in which he had said with great pride, "Definitely tell the story of Pakistan to your children. We are different from Hindus. We are not one. Pakistan was built on this very foundation, and all future generations of Pakistan should be taught this." A country whose army chief holds such hateful thoughts, what else can that country give to the world other than terror? Because of this, the government of India this time makes up its mind to tighten such a grip on Pakistan that breaks its back. In the CCS meeting, such strict decisions were taken by the government of India against Pakistan as had never been taken before. India first conducted a water strike on Pakistan by suspending the 1960 Indus Water Treaty. How big a decision is this? It can be understood from the fact that before this, many terror attacks have been carried out by Pakistan, and wars like 1965, 1971, and 1999 have taken place between the two countries. But still, India had never suspended the Indus Water Treaty. This is the first time such a thing has happened. What a bad effect this will have on Pakistan can be estimated from the fact that 80% of Pakistan's cultivable land depends on the water of the Indus and its tributaries. More than 90% of this water is used for irrigation. In such a situation, the stopping of the water of the Indus and its tributaries, called the lifeline in Pakistan, by India will have a direct impact on Pakistan and its economy, which is already crawling. Under the Indus Water Treaty, India earlier used to share information related to the flow of river water and other related matters with Pakistan. But now India can not only stop the river water but can also release the water of all rivers together without any alert. In this way, Pakistan may sometimes have to face drought, and sometimes a flood-like situation can arise there. After this, the government of India took the second major decision to close the Atari checkpost. Soybeans, poultry feed, vegetables, plastic granules, and red chilies among other goods are sent to Pakistan from this post. Its closure can cause a loss of thousands of crores to Pakistan. The third decision was taken to cancel the SARC Visa Exemption Scheme, SVS visas. Under the fourth decision, every Pakistani citizen present in India was ordered to leave the country and go back within the next 48 hours. And Pakistani citizens will no longer be able to visit India. The biggest blow of this was felt by those Pakistani patients who were undergoing treatment in Indian hospitals for good and cheap treatment. These decisions also came as a blow to those women who had married in Pakistan but were living in India with their children. After this, under the fifth decision, Pakistan defense advisors posted in the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi were directed to leave India within a week. The number of Pakistani staff in the High Commission was also reduced from 55 to 30. Apart from this, the government later banned Pakistan's news channels, cricketers, and influencers' YouTube and X accounts in India, who used to earn money by garnering views from Indian audiences. All these strict decisions of the government of India clearly reflect that India is not going to show any leniency on Pakistan's terrorism this time. After taking strict decisions in the CCS meeting, the next day PM Narendra Modi, while addressing a public meeting in Bihar, gave a stern message to Pakistan, saying, "Those terrorists and the conspirators of this attack will get a punishment bigger than their imagination. Punishment will definitely be meted out. Now the time has come to mix even the remaining land of the terrorists into the soil." After this, the NIA started an investigation into this attack, which is still ongoing. Also, to find the terrorists who executed this attack, the Indian Defense Forces started a search operation. Posters of 3 terrorists were also released, and those local people who gave those who sheltered the terrorists also began to face a crackdown. Several overground workers of Lashkar-e-Taiba were arrested. Hundreds of local people were taken into custody and interrogated, and during the operation, the houses of several terrorists like Asif Sheikh and Adil Thoker were destroyed with explosives. Encounters also took place between security forces and terrorists, in which Havildar Jantu Ali Sheikh of 6 Para SF was martyred. Meanwhile, a list of 14 local terrorists active in Jammu and Kashmir was released, who had provided safe haven in addition to logistics and ground assistance to the Pakistani terrorists. Among them, 3 are associated with Hizbul Mujahideen, 8 with Lashkar, and 3 with Jaish-e-Mohammed. Seeing this stiff reaction from India, it had such an effect on Pakistan and its terrorists that the terrorist organization TRF, which had earlier taken responsibility for this attack, also panicked due to India's action and backtracked on its statement. Backtracking on its word, TRF stated that its account had been hacked and it had nothing to do with this attack. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, panicked by India's strictness, appealed to the Indian government that the Pakistan government is ready to help India in the investigation of this attack by remaining neutral. But India did not make a mistake like 2016 this time. In 2016, when the Pathankot airbase attack happened, it was decided between the two countries that the investigation teams of both countries would visit each other's countries to investigate this attack. The Indian government had allowed the Pakistani investigation team to come to India for the probe. But Pakistan did not allow the Indian investigation team to come to Pakistan and, calling the Pathankot attack a false flag, held India itself responsible for the attack. When Pakistan saw that India would no longer back down from its actions, it also cancelled the Shimla Agreement in frustration and closed its airspace for Indian planes. There is such a fear of the 2016 Uri surgical strike and the 2019 Balakot airstrike in the Pakistan Army that since the Pahalgam attack, the Pakistan Army has been continuously violating the ceasefire by firing on the LC. It fears that Indian commandos might once again destroy the terrorists and their camps sitting in its shelter, just like last time. This fear of Pakistan increased further when PM Narendra Modi held a meeting with the country's higher defense officers on April 29, in which he clearly stated that our army is completely free to take any action to eliminate terror from the country. The army has a free hand to decide when and how to respond. While dozens of countries like America, Britain, Italy, France, and Saudi Arabia stood with India while condemning Pakistan's terrorism, China has given its support to Pakistan. Apart from Pakistan, if there is any country that always wants to harm India, it is China. Ever since the tariff war between America and China started, it has been estimated that India could benefit the most from it. China's investments will come to India, which will give a blow to China's economy and further accelerate the pace of India's economy. Today, India is the world's 5th largest economy, and according to experts, by 2028 India will become the world's 3rd largest economy. In such a situation, India becoming so successful seems like an even bigger threat to China. Due to this, it is even ready to support Pakistan and its terrorism to go against India. In such a case, it is extremely important for India to put a full stop to the repeated terrorist attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. It is a matter of concern how Pakistan repeatedly succeeds in carrying out terrorist attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. In the 1980s, Pakistan had also hatched many conspiracies to break India in Punjab. Pakistan had tried to separate Punjab from India by giving weapons and money to militants. But after several attempts, the Indian government thwarted Pakistan's conspiracy and pulled Punjab out of the jaws of militancy. But why does this not happen in Jammu and Kashmir? Why, even after several decades of upheaval, could Pakistan's conspiracies not be ended forever? Actually, the Indian government could control the situation in Punjab because the Indian government had full control over Punjab. Apart from this, separatists in Punjab did not have the support of local people. Therefore, Pakistan's designs could not succeed. But the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is completely different from Punjab. Since the First Kashmir War of 1947–48, about 35% of Jammu and Kashmir is under Pakistan's occupation, which is known as Pakistan-occupied Kashmir or POK. Pakistan has made POK itself a hub of terror. The geographical conditions of POK provide an easy route for terrorists to infiltrate into India. Terrorists easily enter India through valleys, mountains, dense forests, and the LOC with weak fencing. In many places, the security of the LOC is limited only to barbed wires. Pakistan and its terrorist groups also involve Kashmiri Muslims of India with them by inciting them in the name of jihad and heaven. All the attacks that have happened in Jammu and Kashmir so far have been possible only with the help of local people. With the help of some Kashmiris, terrorists have built long tunnels in many places inside POK that open directly into India. In many places, terrorist launch pads are present in POK just 3 to 4 kilometers away from Indian army posts, which are operated by terrorist groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, and Hizbul Mujahideen with the help of the Pakistani army and ISI. Pakistan has long prepared a large cadre of terrorists in areas like Muzaffarabad, Kotli, Mirpur, and Bagh in POK, along with its areas like Bahawalpur. Terrorists are given training in both Pakistan and POK. Pakistan has opened a large number of madrasas in POK, where youth are forced to become terrorists by filling their minds with hatred against India since childhood. In these very camps, terrorists are taught to use weapons, make explosives, and thereafter infiltrate into India. Terrorists were trained in POK itself for the Pathankot airbase attack, Uri attack, Pulwama attack, and the recent Pahalgam attack. India has also conducted a surgical strike in 2016 and the Balakot air strike in 2019 to destroy the terror camps present in POK. But even after this, the crop of terror continued to be prepared in POK. Therefore, to end Pakistan's terror, India's control over POK is extremely necessary. As long as that part of Jammu and Kashmir remains in Pakistan's possession, Pakistan will not desist from its antics. The government of India also understands this very well. Therefore, on several occasions from national and international platforms, the government of India has spoken about merging Pakistan-occupied Kashmir with India again very soon. The way India has taken strict decisions against Pakistan now, it seems that steps can certainly be taken in this direction in the coming time. If POK is reconnected with India, then the situation there will be under Indian authorities. Terror camps there will be eliminated and Pakistani terrorists can be reined in. But if merging POK into India were that easy, this work would have been done years ago. There are several essential complications in this task that can pose a major challenge for India. In 1948, India made a historical mistake of taking the Kashmir issue to the United Nations, the brunt of which India is suffering to this day. If India tries to take back POK, UN interference is certain. Although India now has good relations with veto-holding countries like the US, France, UK, and Russia, China can become a major obstacle by using its veto in favor of Pakistan. And if diplomacy does not work, India might have to fight an open war with Pakistan. This war could be long, which will have a bad impact on the country's economy. Both countries have nuclear weapons. Therefore, in a state of war, there is a risk of the use of nuclear weapons from both sides. Apart from this, if war occurs, China might stand with Pakistan for its own benefit and join the war against India. In such a situation, India will face a major challenge of fighting a war on two fronts. Therefore, keeping every aspect in mind, India will have to find a way through which POK can be strongly merged into India. Because until POK becomes a part of India, perhaps attacks like Pulwama and Pahalgam can never be stopped from the roots. Eradicating terror from its roots will be the true tribute to those 26 innocent people who lost their lives in Pahalgam at the hands of Pakistani terrorists.